Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that everyone turn your cell phones to silent mode, please. The Peabody also requires masks to be worn at all times, except if you're up here talking. They gave us special permission for that so you could hear me, so I appreciate that. Thank you for your cooperation. Earlier this year, we held the 87th annual commencement exercises for the class of 2021. Today's ceremony allows us to note for posterity that the class of 2020, you guys, were the 86th SCO class to receive its diplomas. Graduates, faculty and staff, parents, distinguished guests, family and friends. I've included everybody. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to the 86th commencement exercises of Southern College of Optometry. We had planned to gather a year and a half ago, but then fate and the pandemic intervened. We couldn't see you in 2020, so we're glad to see you in 2021, if you pardon the bad optometry humor. Even though a pandemic kept us from gathering 18 months ago, you'll always be members of the most apropos day in optometry's history, members of the class of 2020. Nothing will ever take away from your accomplishments or diminish your achievements. We are more proud of you today than we were even last year. If there's one thing the pandemic taught you, it's that you're resilient. Anyone who can tackle the challenges over the last year will be well prepared to succeed in the coming decades. Members of the class of 2020 certainly had many outstanding accomplishments. Since we were not able to publicly gather last year and talk about those accolades, I'd like to recognize some of these people now. And since I can't see you behind your mask, you're going to surprise me when you get up. Dr. Callie Mashburn, would you please rise? There she is. Did I tell you you could sit? No, just kidding. You can do what you want. You're a doctor now. Dr. Mashburn earned the highest national board score in 2019 for Part 1, not only for SCO, but for all U.S. optometry schools. Congratulations. Okay, Callie, final time I'll embarrass you with that. Yes, I know, wave it off. Dr. Alan Tullett, would you please stand? Aaron, where are you? There you are. Dr. Tullett was named the American Optometric Student Association's, he's also embarrassed to stand, AOSA Student of the Year, another nationally recognized award. Now, and this is fun. One of my colleagues, Dr. Shawan Rashid, would you please stand? She's standing longer. Dr. Rashid and Dr. Mary Kate Walters, who I believe is not here today. Am I wrong? Mary Kate? No, she's not here. This may be the first time in SCO history that a current faculty member is participating in their own graduation exercises. Of course, Dr. Rashid is on SCO's faculty. We're proud to have her. And Dr. Walters is now a faculty member at the University of Houston. Your class has also kept quite busy since May of 2020. 34 of you, a full 25% of your class completed an optometric residency last year. Perhaps more significantly in terms of life achievements, 20 members of the class have married, and one more is getting married today. Dr. Haley Taylor, we excuse you from being here because you have something a little bit more important to do. In fact, when we were trying to pick a date, we could not pick a date when somebody was not getting married. So I know some of your classmates are there for her wedding, and I understand that. 12 more of the class have become engaged. Your class has welcomed 4 babies, and I hear that 3 more are on the way. That may be amended as we go on throughout the day. Nearly 100 of you are gathered here today as we formally celebrate your graduation. Those who can't be here are here in spirit. Tonight, the mighty lights on the bridges across the Mississippi River will turn blue and gold, SCO's colors, in your honor. Mayor Jim, oh yeah, let's do that. Now, when we're setting up your graduation, our mayor, Jim Strickland, was scheduled to be your commencement speaker in May of 2020. As a makeup, he was our speaker last year in 2021. But if you know Mayor Strickland, he wanted to send a message for you guys today. So instead of showing up, he recorded his message. If we could play that short message from...
Hi, I'm Mayor Jim Strickland. And on behalf of the city of Memphis Congratulations on this tremendous honor. Your years of hard work and sacrifice have paid off. You're entering a career in which you have the opportunity to change lives every single day through your service to others. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't put in a plug for keeping you right here in Memphis. As you're making decisions about where you want to start your career, remember this: Memphis needs you, and we want you here. We have so many great things that are happening in our city right now. Do we still have challenges and more work to do? Of course, but we're heading in the right direction, and with your help, we can do even more. There's no city in the country where you can make a bigger difference than right here in Memphis. We live in a city that has so much potential, and I just ask you to keep that in mind. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to spend some time with you virtually today. It has truly been my honor. Congratulations again on this accomplishment. I wish you all the best as you move into this next phase of your life.
Thank you, Mayor Strickland. It's pretty obvious he was doing his job as mayor because he was trying to get you to move back to Memphis, but hey, please forgive him. He meant well, and we appreciate that. To each member of the class of 2020, I want to offer my personal congratulations and the best of luck for your future success. At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Cassandra Croy, Vice President of the class of 2021, and Dr. Haley Vasilko, Class Secretary, to come forward and present the class comments. Thank you.
Can breathe. There's that. Okay. Boy, was this a long wait. I think a lot of our class shared the sentiment that, you know what, this ceremony was little, too late. We've already been practicing for a year and a half, but you know what? Being here today, seeing all of you, really just makes me so glad we were able to arrange this celebration.
We deserve to celebrate years of hard work, accomplishing a major life goal, and being able to call ourselves doctors. This feels good. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Our hard work has finally paid off.
Haley and I are so honored to be up here today to speak on behalf of the class of 2020 and reflect collectively on our time at SCO. But as Dr. Reich pointed out, there are so many other people who could be giving this speech, like, I don't know, the valedictorian, the person who scored the highest in the nation for part 1 of boards, or AOSA Student of the Year, or, you know, the actual class president who's not here.
We thought it would be fun to take a small trip down memory lane during our time here. To begin, first year. What did we get ourselves into? Schematic eye, red reflex, test weeks, 6 tests in 1 week, and we cannot forget the most memorable mishearing of a name, which was repeated probably 30 times.
Pam, is she here? Moving into second year, we got our littles who ended up graduating before us. The Snowmageddon storm, which gave, 4 days off school?
Us Northerners did not understand when they said that when bad weather hits, all of the milk, eggs, bread will be wiped out from any grocery store until we actually saw it. Then in April, we had our first annual dog pound crawfish boil, and we also passed preclinical checkouts and would make us spend 3 hours with a patient, but look at us now.
And then when we thought third year couldn't get any harder with our days and nights spent in APC and VT, the clinic flooded, causing all of us basement kids to start filling in where we were needed, which meant things like the intimidating disease or, God forbid, PEDS.
This was also the first year that there was a large SCO presence at the St. Jude Marathon weekend, myself included, and let me tell you, that's the last half marathon I'll ever run.
Shortly after was our senior send-off, which was the last time we were all together in the same place to celebrate.
Last time we were all in the same room to celebrate the people sitting in front of us. Which brings us to fourth year, the year that we were all scattered around the country exploring new areas while getting a small taste of what it's like to be in the real world.
Since the beginning of our time here at SCO, the class of 2020 has always had a special connotation. I mean, we were supposed to be the perfect class of optometry, right? But look at how that turned out, thanks COVID, although we're still perfect.
We have now learned how to foster relationships throughout these tough times, quite literally finding the meaning behind through thick and thin at a much younger age than most.
We were thrown into this thunderstorm of uncertainty through the past year, dare I even say unprecedented.
Things may not always go the way you planned, but this class is resilient. We survived a snowstorm, a flood, COVID, and even Dr. Taylor's performance of Jump by Van Halen.
Most importantly, we formed relationships with the people we love, the people we care about, and the people who went on this crazy journey with us.
Through countless eyeballs, Omega Delta parties, dog pound parties, float trips, game nights, conferences, study sessions, and now even up to weddings and children.
Congratulations, class of 2020. We did it. Okay, exactly.
I actually understood the movie reference. Pretty cool. It is my pleasure to introduce our Alumni Awards. This is traditionally presented during the fall, homecoming, and CE weekend. The first award is a Young Alumni Award. Dr. John Reed practices at Advanced Eye Centers in Illinois. Following his graduation from SCO in 2012, he completed a primary care residency at the Salem Veterans Administration Medical Center in Salem, Virginia. He is a member of the American Optometric Association and the Illinois Optometric Association, and he's a fellow of the American Academy of Optometry. Earlier this year, Dr. Reed was named recipient of the Partnership Award, one of the 3 awards presented annually by SCO's Hayes Center for Practice Excellence. Dr. Reed was recognized for his exemplary success in a thriving multi-partner practice. He is married to Dr. Maya Reed, also a member of class of 2012, and they are the parents of 3 children. In recognition of Dr. Reed's outstanding success as an alumnus who graduated within the last decade, it is my distinct pleasure to present Dr. John Reed with SCO's Young Alumni Award. Dr. Reed, would you come up to get your award? Our next award is SCO's Lifetime Achievement Award. This is the highest honor bestowed upon a graduate by the college. This year's award is bittersweet. We posthumously recognize the outstanding accomplishments of an SCO graduate who passed away last year early in the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Jeff Foster was a 1981 SCO graduate, 40 years, who joined the Newport, Tennessee practice established by another SCO Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, Dr. Nathan Ford, class of 1950, and the practice was established in 1950. In later years, the practice was joined by Dr. William Henry, class of 1961. By the 1990s, Dr. Foster continued this legacy of alumni ownership when he was joined by Dr. Kurt Steele, class of 1995. Together, they recruited more recent graduates to their practice. It is very likely the oldest practice in Tennessee with a continual line of SCO alumni ownership. Dr. Foster's lasting legacy is his contributions to leadership throughout the state. He was a past legislative chair of the Tennessee Association of Optometric Physicians. A lot of people think he is the legislative chair of the Tennessee Association of Optometric Physicians. In fact, his legislative leadership helped advance the scope of practice in our state throughout the 80s and 90s. Dr. Foster was a past president of the TAOP, the Tennessee Academy of Optometry, and a past chair of the Tennessee Board of Examiners in Optometry. Throughout the years, he was named TAOP's Young OD of the Year, OD of the Year, and Optometrist of the Decade. At the local level in Newport, Tennessee, he was devoted to community leadership throughout his work with the local hospital, election commission, library board, among others. Dr. Foster unfortunately died April 28, 2020, but his life's work will continue through supporting future students and advocating for our profession in the legislative arena. Here to accept this award is Dr. Steele, class of 1995, who will be joined by several other colleagues in representing Dr. Foster's memory. Dr. Steele, would you come up for the award?
Well, thank you, Dr. Reich, for Dr. Foster's well-deserved award. Probably one of his greatest attributes is he was one of the most humble people you would ever meet. I may have never heard his name. He would get mad if I tried to brag on him. And he would say, "This is your day." So what I want to try to do is try to think what Jeff would do in this case and make it about you. So one thing I want to make sure that you guys know about Jeff is that he loved being an eye doctor. Matter of fact, this is a quote that a lot of us older guys has heard. "I wish I liked to eat, drink, and talk about optometry." Jeff Foster loved to have a good meal, a good glass of wine, and talk about optometry's future. He absolutely loved it. I can barely get on some of these social media sites that are so negative because one gift he gave to us, and I hope that I can tell you guys about, is that he loved being an optometrist. He would be off work and call and ask if he could come in and see emergencies. I mean, he loved being an optometrist. Don't ever even undervalue a good refraction or fit somebody in contacts that have never worn contacts before, like an awkward teenager. He enjoyed and understood the importance of giving the gift of sight. And if you go into practice with somebody that doesn't love being an optometrist, I'd suggest you look somewhere else, because the greatest gift I got from Dr. Jeff Foster was he loved being an optometrist, and he made coming to work every day an absolute joy. Second thing I'd want to impose upon you guys to know is that you know the name Jeff Foster, because, and I don't think anybody in here from Tennessee would disagree with this, if we were to start a Mount Rushmore of Tennessee optometry, Jeff Foster would be the first person to go on that mountain. Every single legislative battle, even up including to the latest one with injections, he led the charge. He is in every picture around the governor of every bill we ever passed. We're 3 hours at least from Nashville. Nobody spent more time in Nashville, Tennessee over the last 30 years than Dr. Jeff Foster. And his legacy his tree branches out a lot too. Our practice, almost everybody has been a state president. So Dr. Taylor, he's here today. Dr. Graham Taylor will probably be Tennessee president one day as well, because he's in our practice now. So Graham, get ready. You're kind of expected. And Dr. Emily Eisenhower, who is over there, she will be the president. She'll be the incoming president next year. And but he has touched and made so many people so proud to be an optometrist, and leaders not even in the state of Tennessee. So, as a matter of fact, who I want to bring up now is Dr. Nora Cothran, who is a glaucoma specialist at the Eye Center of Florida. and I will let her tell you her story where Dr. Foster is concerned.
Thank you. It's truly an honor today to be able to be here to speak to you about my mentor, my hometown optometrist. I'm from Newport, Tennessee. As you move through the medical landscape currently over the last year after you've graduated, you are each enjoying medical privileges and rights that were founded by the legislative efforts of legislative juggernauts like Dr. Jeff Foster. They're a direct result of his tireless dedication, his hard work. Mydriatics, topical, oral pharmaceuticals, surgical procedures, these were all championed by men like and women like Dr. Jeff Foster, who spent countless hours in the halls of your state capitol. My hometown optom, taken by COVID way too soon, he fit me on my first contact lenses when I was in 7th grade. He encouraged me to consider optometry over dentistry. When I told him I was thinking of being a dentist, he said, "Why would you ever want to do that? You should think about optometry." And even after my graduation and my residency, he continued to champion for me and cheer for me throughout the duration of my career. You can each honor his legacy in every day of your clinical practice, no matter your modality, no matter what state you live in, by treating each of your own patients as if they were your own family. You'll never go wrong. Giving back to SCO, to our school that helped to build the foundation of your education and your clinical wherewithal, giving back to your state and AOA PACs, to continue the push for scope expansion in other states across our country, and practicing to the very maximum scope that your respective states allow. Don't ever forget that the road that you're about to walk on and have been walking on was paved, and much of it paved by a really wonderful, caring optometrist that came before you. The next person that I'm going to introduce, I'm very honored to have our state legislator here. He's been a legislator for my hometown in District 11 in East Tennessee for over a decade, and that speaks to his dedication to the citizens of our region, and also he is a huge friend of optometry and has been. So I would like to pass over the microphone to Mr. Jeremy Fajan, our state representative.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeremy Faison, and it's a true honor to be with you today and celebrate this special occasion for you and honor one of my best friends, Dr. Jeff Foster. If you give me your heart and your ears just for a minute, it would seem unlikely in the present culture, the political culture that we're in, where we're incredibly divided, and it seems like there's no bipartisanship that goes on. It would seem unlikely that an old Southern Democrat and a stalwart Republican will become allies and become best friends. But one thing I learned from Jeff in the last decade of my life is that Jeff was intent on leaving a legacy. And he put the practice of optometry before his own politics. He put the practice of optometry before a lot. And he built bridges and alliances that should speak to each one of y'all. In fact, you are standing on the shoulders of his legacy today. And I wanted to just come this afternoon and honor him in such a way that you would know that he put a premium on leaving a legacy. And the way each one of y'all can do that is by realizing that there's a far greater power than you and a greater cause than each one of you. Dr. Foster was with me the very day. You might not even realize this, but within the last decade, a decade ago, you weren't allowed to do an injection anywhere around your eye with lidocaine. Dr. Foster was with me the day that we did that. He sat at my desk on the House floor in the Tennessee State Capitol, and he voted for that. Because he was always putting somebody else above himself. Whether or not he was ever going to get to do that part of the practice was not really a big deal to him. He wanted those coming after him to be able to use all of their training to the fullest extent, to leave a legacy, and to make sure those coming behind you have a better place than what you found. Then you live in such a way that you care about others more than yourself. The man and the doctor, the friend that we're honoring today, is a man who put others above himself, and because he chose to put others above himself, you this last year have been able to practice a more full ability to optometry than you were a decade ago. And in fact, back in the 90s, optometry was so limited. We were one of the toughest states in America to practice in. And because of his leadership and because of him wanting to make sure that the ones coming behind him could be able to practice, he pushed the state. He built alliances with Democrats, with Republicans, and independents, and he made it to where your practice for a while was the most expansive practice in all 50 states in America. It is on your responsibility to take what Dr. Jeff Foster did and say, you know what, I'm going to continue to push the limits of what our practice can do and what Southern College Optometry can teach to the students coming behind you. God bless you. Congratulations. And one more time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Steele. He has one more thing he'd like to say.
And so there's just, the two things that and by the way, a state representative that will ride across the state, we're up in the Smoky Mountains. That speaks to Jeff's influence. I just want you to know this, just remember, every time you even dilate somebody's eyes, and it is not in the very far distant past where we couldn't do that, all the way up to injections and everything in between. There's a lot of people that had a lot to do with it, but Jeff Foster's at the top of that list. And what I want to also challenge everybody as far as expansion and everything in the future is, if at minimum, if every optometrist was a member of the AOA and their state association, gave to the PAC fund, and went to the state meeting, if we all would just agree to simply do that, we would be as strong as any organization out there. So I just want to challenge everybody to just keep that in mind. That's what Jeff would want me to tell you guys. Congratulations, and I appreciate you listening to us. Thank you.
While all members of the graduating class of 2020 have performed in a meritorious manner, successfully completing the optometric curriculum at Southern College of Optometry, and while great pride in these accomplishments should be shared by the graduates, families, friends, and distinguished faculty of the college, the two graduates who have achieved the second highest and highest cumulative grade point averages are, by tradition, recognized as the salutatorian and valedictorian of the class. Last year, the college was pleased to announce the valedictorian and salutatorian for the class of 2020, but we're proud to make this recognition formally and in person this year. Dr. Tori Garner, please come forward at this time to be recognized as the salutatorian for the class of 2020. And would Dr. Callie Mashburn please come forward at this time to be recognized as the valedictorian for the class of 2020. Latin honors to acknowledge outstanding academic achievement while enrolled in the professional program at Southern College of Optometry were earned by members of the class of 2020. Those graduates having a cumulative grade point average of between 3.4 and 3.59 received the recognition of graduating cum laude. These individuals were wearing white honor cords designating the honor. Additional members of the class of 2020 received the recognition of magna cum laude, signifying a cumulative grade point average of between 3.6 and 3.79. These individuals are wearing silver honor cords. Students with a cumulative grade point average of at least 3.8 are accorded the honor of summa cum laude. A gold and blue honor cord signifies this distinction. Graduates with honors will be individually recognized as their names are announced. Will the recipients of the Doctor of Optometry degree please rise? President Reich, upon the recommendation of the faculty of Southern College of Optometry, I present the recipients of the degree Doctor of Optometry. They have pursued their prescribed studies diligently, passed all required examinations, and demonstrated commendable proficiency in the art and science of optometry. I therefore recommend that the degree Doctor of Optometry be formally recognized at this time.
Upon your recommendation, and by the virtue of the authority vested in Southern College of Optometry by the state of Tennessee, I hereby recognize these graduates as doctors of optometry with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Please be seated.
Will the first row of candidates please rise and come forward to receive your certificate? Audience, please hold your applause until all candidates' names are called. Dr. Rebecca Margaret Adams. Dr. Brandon James Alderton. Dr. Christy Lee Alfano, magna cum laude. Dr. Alexander M. Arnett. Assisting President Reich in the awarding of Alex's certificate is Dr. Kim Arnett, Indiana University School of Optometry, class of 1988, Alex's mother. Dr. Anna Fuller Barbiero, magna cum laude. Not that there's any rivalry in this household, but Dr. Anthony James Barbiero, summa cum laude. Dr. Matthew Neal Barnes. Dr. John Michael Bollock. Dr. Lila M. Brown Ahala, magna cum laude. Dr. Britton Milner Bugg, magna cum laude. Assisting President Reich in the awarding of Britton's certificate is Dr. Alan Bugg, SCO class of 1982, Britton's father. Dr. Corey Elizabeth Burr. Assisting President Reich in the awarding of core certificate is Dr. Christopher Mashores, SCO class of 1972, Corey's grandfather. Dr. Lindsay M. H. Butler, cum laude. Dr. Benjamin Skelly Carden, cum laude. Dr. Altiana Winicia Carter. Dr. Catherine May Kasataban. Dr. Sarah Rachel Cherian. Dr. Carol A. Chow. Dr. Rachel Joy Christie, cum laude. Dr. Jason T. Chu, cum laude. Dr. Tanya Chug Chu Qualls. Dr. Jacob B. Condit, cum laude. Dr. Cassandra Jordan Croy. Dr. Sagar Raman Desai. Dr. Jordan Dravitsky, cum laude. Dr. Taylor Casey Epp, summa cum laude. Dr. Caitlin Jan Follensby. Dr. Jared Evan Friedman, magna cum laude. Dr. Tori Marie Garner, summa cum laude. Dr. Kelsey Marie Glover, summa cum laude. Dr. Kristen Nina Grace Green, magna cum laude. Dr. Darian M. Horner. Dr. Alyssa Aaron Invergo, cum laude. Dr. Lauren Virginia Johnson, cum laude. Dr. Troy Neal Johnson. Dr. Connor Michael Kapperman, magna cum laude. Assisting President Reich in the awarding of Connor Certificate is Dr. Mark Kapperman, SCO class of 1987, Connor's father. Dr. Michael Austin Killingsworth. Dr. Jeffrey Ray Cook. Dr. Tony Lamb. Dr. Catherine Marie Laney, summa cum laude. I would have had to hear the noise of his only cum laude. Dr. Ariel Arbach Lenning, cum laude. Dr. Heaven Lilleman, cum laude. Dr. Victoria Jane Long. Dr. Samantha Macchio, magna cum laude. Dr. Callie Jan Mashburn, summa cum laude. Dr. Timothy J. McDonald. Dr. Destiny Sherelle McDuffie. Dr. Caitlin Elizabeth McGee, cum laude. Dr. Angelica Shanta McIntyre. Dr. Preetle Jaitan Mehta. Dr. Matthew Wesley Meredith, summa cum laude. Dr. Brian W. Metzger. Dr. Logan Chase Michael. Dr. Megan Miles, cum laude. Dr. Allison Marie Moore, magna cum laude. Dr. Alvaro Paul Moreno, Assisting President Rice in the awarding of Paul's certificate is Dr. Alvaro George Moreno, Paul's father. And I forgot to mention Dr. Moreno is a graduate of the UAB School of Optometry class of 1989. Dr. Christopher Eugene Mugi. Dr. Brittany Lee Morrell, summa cum laude. Dr. Kristen Taylor Nelson. Dr. Tyler James Nelson, cum laude. Dr. Rachel Elizabeth Newland, magna cum laude. Dr. Annie Lamb Wynn. Dr. Dewey Hong Wynn. Dr. Sarah Marie Orahood, magna cum laude. Dr. Vishal Mahesh Patel. Dr. Anna Christina Petrovich. Dr. John Braxton Pfeiffer. Dr. Jaleel C. Phillips. Dr. Melissa Beth Pongratz, magna cum laude. And I was going off script. If you like these regalia, Melissa's the one who helped design them. Dr. Brian Thompson Host. Dr. Kristen Purdy, summa cum laude. Dr. Shawan Jafer Rashid, cum laude. Dr. Elise Rayburn. Dr. Olivia Kate Reeder, cum laude. Dr. Julia Grace Reimold, magna cum laude. And I believe one of the three soon-to-be expecting parents were previously referred to, Dr. Stephanie Costa Ross, summa cum laude. Dr. Michaela Janae Sass, magna cum laude. Dr. Trevor Schramm, summa cum laude. Dr. Kenneth Trevor Sheely, magna cum laude. Dr. Jacob C. Smith. Dr. Blair Solomon, magna cum laude. Dr. Katie Stuckey, magna cum laude. Dr. Stephen Tingang Su, magna cum laude. Dr. Graham Walworth Taylor. Dr. Tyler Gregory Thill. Dr. Mallory Alora Thompson. Dr. Christopher Aaron Tillett. Dr. Mallory Nicole Troyer, cum laude. Dr. Barbara Van, cum laude. Dr. Haley Bryn Vasilko. Dr. Rachel Marie Wakefield. Dr. Rebecca S. Wiesbrot. Dr. Rachel Werner, summa cum laude. Dr. Andrea K. Wester, summa cum laude. Dr. Rachel Lynn Wilcoxon, cum laude. Dr. Hannah Catherine Williams. And Dr. Kira E. Winston, cum laude. Please join me in congratulating the class of 2020 of Southern College of Optometry. And now I'd like to welcome Cassie and Haley back to the stage for some closing comments.
We are happy that a large part of our class could gather here to celebrate our huge accomplishment.
But we are missing many faces in the crowd today, so we'd just like to acknowledge that, sorry. So we would just like to raise a toast to the class of 2020, those in the room and those who are not. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm getting emotional.
And they put together a video for us last year that they showed with all our photos. They're just going to show it again. So a little trip down memory.
These are my friends, I love them, I love them. These are my friends, I love them, I love them. I wish I was a little more loved, trying to find a way to fix that. So many people inside my head. Mama taught me not to talk back, but they're pretty good company. They cheer me up when I feel bad. Is it my insecurities that keep me going? These are my friends, I love them, I love them. These are my friends, I love them. And they don't care who you are, they don't care what you do, no. These are my friends, I love them, I love them. My heart and I don't get along, it's something that I'm sad about. Everybody needs to pick me up, but I should probably slow it down. But it's pretty good company, it cheers me up when I feel bad. These are my insecurities that keep me going. These are my friends, I love them, I love them. These are my friends, I love them. And they don't care who you are, they don't care what you do, no. These are my friends, I love them, I love them. weirdos, inflated egos, the filthy misfits. The ones you dream of, the ones you can't shake, living in your brain. These are my friends, these are my friends. I love them, I love them. These are my friends, these are my friends. I love them. And they don't care who you are, they don't care what you do, no. These are my friends, these are my friends. I love them, I love them. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to fall, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. I'm still in bed at 10 and work again at 8. You burned your breakfast so far, things are going great. Your mother warned you there'd be days like these, but she didn't tell you when the road's rough down to your knees. And I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you. Like I've been there. I'll be there for you, 'cause you're there for me too. No one could ever know me, no one could ever see me. Since you're the only one who knows what it's like to be me. Someone to face the day with, make it through all the rest with. Someone I always laugh with, even I was the best with you. Yeah. Tackle, we're stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, even though you will. I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to fall, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before. I'll be If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing the song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Oh, find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. You'll always have my shoulder when you cry. I'll never let go, never say goodbye. You know you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you. You can count on me, 'cause I can count on you.
Well, it's been a long time coming. Class of 2020, thank you so much for your patience. So glad to see so many of you here today. This concludes the ceremony for today. As soon as the recessional is concluded, there will be a reception. All guests are welcome directly behind us in the room, directly this way. Thank you so much.